Hello everyone, welcome to Wild Acorns Art Studio. My name is Lisa Kester, and today we are painting with some Kiwi Underglazes. So I've tried these before and I've really liked them. They sent me like 6 of them, I think, or something like that to try, and I liked them so much I ordered like 10 more. so I have quite a bit. But we are painting today on a bisqueware bowl. It's been fired to cone 04, and this is actually, can't remember if this is B Mix 5 with grog. We ran out of some of that at where I work, and so I think I was trying to look over at my boxes of pottery, but I haven't covered up my clay. It's Kentucky Mudworks Tony Beaver, so it could be that too. Because I had, a couple different kinds there, so I'm not really sure which one it is. But anyway, it's cone 5. I fired a cone 5 when I do the glaze. Anyway, so I'm going to paint something similar to this. I did a little one. If you can see that. Let me bring it back a little bit. I don't know if you can hear the wind behind me, but it's raining and blowing all day today. There's like 40, 50 mile an hour winds, and I was supposed to be at the Weber's Pumpkin Festival this weekend, and I don't know, I decided the last minute not to do it, just because my knees have had problems with my knee, and so I just didn't want to risk it until eventually I'm going to get a knee replacement. But I don't know, maybe something, God's like, Lisa, don't sign up for it. Of course, yesterday they had a great day. Today is Sunday, so yesterday they had a beautiful day. But today, I know some of the art fairs canceled because of the rain and the high winds and stuff. And I just can't imagine being. I've been there before, so I know what it's like to be in a tent with winds that high. I've ruined 2 tents because of it. And so my heart goes out to the people down there, all the vendors. But let me lower you down, and we can chat while I paint. But yeah, it has been blowing all day. Okay, I think you can see pretty good there. Yeah, I think that'd be good. So, like I said, these are these little jars of Kiwi Underglaze. Yeah, they're really nice. They're not cheap. They come from New Zealand, so you're paying quite a bit of shipping. But there are some places, I think, more places are starting to carry them. When you think this is probably $10, $12 and it's only 4, it's not even 4 ounces. So, you think they're a lot less expensive than Amico velvets, but in reality, if you times this by 4 to get 16 ounces, which is like what an Amico is. Yeah, because the Amico is 16. That's $40. So I can't say that they're so they're equal to it though. They really fire up nice. I haven't had any burnout. The consistency is very nice. So I really like them. So I haven't had any stick to the kiln shelf yet, but I haven't really tested them too much. Any underglaze that you put 3 coats on the bottom is probably going to stick. It's probably going to flux, and it's probably going to stick. So keep that in mind. So I just have these little ice cube trays I bought. That's all they are. They've got these lids, and they keep them pretty moist. Now I did have to spray a couple with water, but they've kept them moist. I mean, I haven't gotten these out in at least 2 months, and except for a couple of them, they were pretty moist. So now when I'm done with them today, I will not respray any because they're pretty moist, and I don't want them to get too watery. I had that issue with a few of the Amico velvets, but I think they've changed the Amico velvets. I think they've changed their mixture, maybe a little bit. I've just bought like, I just went out and bought like 6 more of those too. And they come out like a gel. Have you guys had any of that? Thought that was kind of bizarre. They came out like a gel. I'm going to put this in the center just so I have a reference of where I'm starting from my petals. Because I know when I get talking, I will not be paying attention. Hi, Charlie. Yes. You gonna say hi? Huh, big boy? There we go. I'll move this over here. He hears me talking, so I guess he thinks I'm talking to him. Yeah, I'm not talking to you. What do you got? Hey, Charlie. I think he ate a leaf. Charlie, what you got? What you got? Oh, it's a leaf. I had to make I had to make sure it wasn't a wrapper. I think he's part goat. So when you're doing these petals, when you're first starting out, you want to just kind of get them where you like them. You know what I mean? Like, get them placed. Make sure everything is looks kind of circular, or you know how you like it. Design, how you like the design, and then you can go back and kind of darken them like that. Yeah, so I was really very thankful that I was not in the Pumpkin Festival this weekend. I know another one that we have locally, Charm at the Farm. That's a really big one. I know they just went ahead and canceled today, which was probably a good move, because you do not want to be in a tent at this at that, you know, rate of winds, at that mile per hour winds. I did the Vina Galette Festival, which is it's a wine festival here in Cincinnati. It's actually considered Coleraine, but it's here in Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, basically. It is in a vineyard, and it sits up on a hill. And we had winds so bad one time that the whole tent where the food was being served, which that tent had to be like 100 feet by 50 feet, and it took off into the parking lot. So, I mean, I know, you know, the people who put these art shows on and festivals on don't want to lose money, but I would think that it would be very, very, you know, dangerous to, you know, go ahead and have it when there's high winds expected. I mean, the weathermen, you know, they can get wrong about the rain, but winds, they're usually not wrong about that. So I know overnight I heard the winds howling. I was in the Pumpkin Fest one year that they were calling for high winds, and I took everything off the shelf, because, you know, obviously pottery is breakable, so I took all my stuff off my shelves and put it back in the crates and laid it on the ground. When we came back the next morning, people who didn't, their tents were gone. They were pretty much gone. The tent next to me had collapsed into the side of mine, tearing my wall of my tent. And I had even lowered my tent, but the person next to me had these walls with pegboard and stuff, and they didn't want to go to the trouble to lower theirs. And they paid for it, and so did I. But I know things, things happen. I didn't say anything, and it wasn't, I just glued it back. The tear wasn't too bad, but I know how it is. Be a vendor. Of course, you got to take your tents down. When you got weather coming, you got to. It's better to be safe than sorry. but anyway, they were very nice people, and they ended up giving me a side of a tent that, I guess when they bought a new tent, they gave me one of the sides of the old tent, so it all worked out. Okay. So, when you layer underglazes, sometimes the bottom color will come through, not normally. It kind of just depends on how thick the coats are. If you put like 3 or 4 coats on and they're thick coats, they'll kind of flux and they can come through. So I'm kind of counting on that for some of that to come through. It may or may not. I mean, you guys know how it is when you're doing underglazes or any glaze. You really don't know how it's going to turn out until it comes out of the kiln. So these, some of these are watered down a little bit just because they had gotten kind of hard. But I like them in the trays because I like to see. I'm very visual, which most artists are. I like to see all the colors out. And if I want to mix them, I can mix them. It's been a while since I've done any glazing because without having any shows come up, you just kind of, I don't know, you lose focus, and I kind of lost interest, and it's very difficult to stay motivated. I do have my Etsy site back up and running, but I need to put some more stuff on there. I have so much pottery. Since I'm teaching 3 days a week, I get, it just starts building up, and I've got a lot of it. So I'm probably going to have some kind of a sale here at my house. Of course, I know a lot of you guys aren't local. Some of you live in Australia and Canada and all over the country. But I don't know. I may do a Christmas sale on my website too. Just kind of depends what I have left. There's a little shop here in town that's just opened called Wallico. It's Wallico. And I'm going to see if I can put some of my pottery there. But for the most part, I will be selling it out of my Etsy shop, and then of course if I'm going to do an art sale here at the house. And so this is called meadow green. This is a darker green. So now I'm going to go over it with apple green. And I'll allow some of the colors from below to come through. I'm not going to try to cover up all of them, all of the, the bottom color. I think these are the same 2 colors. I couldn't tell when I was adding colors. Because some of them I started custom mixing. Because I think one of these pinks is, I just mix it myself. And I was looking for a certain color. Are you guys doing art shows? I'm sure some of you are. It's that time of year. Oh, so what I was going to say is, so our local country club, there's a real nice country club up the street from me. So I believe I'm going to be in that. I applied for it, and I've been in it in all the years past. So I assume I'll be invited back. I've already been sent the information, and I filled out the application and everything, and it has to go through a jury. But I've been in years past, so I would think I'll be in again. So that kind of got me motivated to paint this stuff that's been piling up in boxes. So I've got some big bowls that I have in the kiln now. So hopefully, if those don't go kaboom, that's what happened to me last year. I get too in a hurry, and then I don't wait long enough to put them in the bisque kiln. Although I did a 12-hour preheat, so that should be plenty. So this is a real pretty orange. You can't, some of these like Speedball and Mako, you really can't tell what color they are until you fire them. Amigo Velvets, the color you see is pretty much the color you get. I don't know, what the difference is there, but these kind of remind me of Mako a little bit, which, you just have to wait till they're out of the kiln. So there's that. I don't know if I should do a bigger center. Let's see. Let me do, I don't know. I think that's probably big enough. Once I do the black lines, the outline, that'll, differentiate, the different parts of it, of the leaf and stuff. That'll really make it pop. I'm going to paint some mugs in a little bit. I guess I'll do a video of that too, but I won't. Some of them I'm going to put some design on, and some of them I'm not. So we'll see. So since I put the leaves in here, I'm going to go back with the red and just make sure the leaves look like they're tucked underneath the petals. So I'm just going to go back. Chris, is he hiding his ball? Christopher. Charlie loves his ball. Oh my gosh, he drives us crazy, really. We have to take it from him sometimes, because he will go from morning till night, dropping it at your feet and throwing it at you. And then he hides it underneath things and barks until you go get it for him, which, half the time he can get it himself. But he wants someone to play with him. And it's kind of nonstop. Oh. Sometimes my husband and I look at each other and say, what did we get ourselves into? We love him to death, though. I think he really wants to be a lap dog. he tries to get up in our lap. He knows he's too big, so he keeps his feet on the floor and just kind of lays across us. Okay, so there's that. So I'm going to work on the outside a little bit. I'm just going to keep it pretty simple on the outside because I got this big design on the inside. So I think I'm just going to do leaves on the outside. Rinse my brush out. And I think what I'm going to do is put just a touch of water into this meadow green, thinning it out just a little bit because I'm going to layer it. Excuse me, with the apple green. And then that'll allow the inside to dry. So I can go ahead and do the outlining of it. Whoops. And I don't really, I don't really measure anything. Some people draw their designs out first, and I'm sure they're, they're gorgeous, but they're much more detailed. Mine really aren't very detailed, and most people who know me know I've painted flowers for so many years I could probably do it in my sleep. I keep thinking I need to change it up a little bit. Charlie, you want to go outside? Huh? I think he just wants someone to play with him. Oh, whoops. Okay, I think that's good. All right. So now, rinsing my brush out. So when this is dry, I'm just going to take a soft brush made by Mako, the number 8. It's kind of, this doesn't look too good because it's all getting old already. But I'll use like a Mako fan brush. It's a real nice thick brush. And I'll dip it in the clear, put a coat on very gently. Very liberal first coat, so it's nice and soft. The brush strokes are nice and soft. And then I'll let it dry, and then I'll put a second coat on. I'll just put 2 coats on of clear. And then I will fire it to a cone 5 with a 20-minute hold. I do the 20-minute, I fire it on slow. Oh no, medium. I fire it medium, and then I do a 20-minute hold. I don't do any fancy programs or anything like that. I usually fire it in the studio kiln with my students' stuff. So, okay, so this is Xiem, Xiem. The words have kind of worn off there. With a number 20 tip. All right, can you see that? Let's see. There you go. It's a yellow one. I put Amigo Jet Black, or what's what I bought? This one is Ultra Black. This is Ultra Black. I mix it up in a little jar, add a little bit of water to it, and I sieve it, and then I put it in here. So I do add a little bit of water to it. You want to add a little bit of water to get it to flow a little better. If it's dripping out of here, you've added too much water. If it keeps clogging, then either your glaze isn't dry all the way, which since I'm doing a video, I usually try to let it dry a little longer. But you can get it clogged because of the glaze. Notice I'm pulling away. I'm always pulling away to help keep the glaze from getting up into the nozzle. But if it does, I just put the pin in there. And just clean it out with the pin. If it gets too bad, then I have to take it apart and blow water through it and whatnot. Charlie, you want to go outside? He probably threw his ball in the under the chair. He's such a stink pot. Okay. I did a video earlier. You'll probably see that too. Just a short video of that little bowl that I did. And I no more than started glazing. And here comes a Millie. Just walk right in front of me. Oh my gosh. I really do like to outline my stuff. I'm just holding this with my hand. Good thing I have big hands. But you can, you know, set it on towels or sponge or... Of course, I probably wouldn't be holding it up if I wasn't doing a video. Feels like it's trying to clog up. It's getting dark already. I started making this video about 4 hours ago. And then, oh my gosh, then this was clogging up. So I had to empty this all out, clean it out, and redo that. And then I was looking for a credit card that I thought I lost. Next thing you know, I'm searching the whole house and cleaning out my desk, and oh my gosh. That took another couple hours. And then it was lunchtime. Then I had to eat lunch. And it seems like, you know, one thing led to another. I left a much bigger gap here, didn't I, than through some of these. I don't know. I thought about, you want to go out? Here. There, he's just going to stand there. Go on. You want to go out? Go. Oh, goodness. When he finds out it's raining, he'll probably be back. If you like these videos, please share and hit subscribe, and it helps my channel, helps it grow. I don't know if I should do anything on the bottom. You know, I used to always do things on the bottom, and then let's see, maybe I'll just do a couple leaves. You know, if it sticks to the kiln shelf at all, and not that it really sticks, but you know, since I fire a lot of my stuff lately in the studio kiln where I work, we put a lot of kiln wash on the shelves. A lot of kiln wash, because even though I tell people not to put too many coats on, they still do sometimes, and things will run on the shelf, and I've even had stuff run on the shelf. I mean, you know, it's hard sometimes to know what's going to run and what's not, especially when you know, you're getting new glazes in. We've gotten some new ones. So now, yeah, that did clog up a little bit. me put my little pin in there. I've been using this Zion tool. This is my favorite. They have a red one that's a little bit smaller, so if your hands are a little bit smaller, you might want the red one. But what I was starting to say is that, so sometimes, you have some kiln wash stick on the bottom and you go to sand it off. Sometimes it ruins your design, and then, I don't know, it doesn't look that great. But, so we need, let me try not to scratch the inside. So there's the bottom. And you can, if I think about it, maybe I'll just put three little pieces of old bisqueware here and here, and then fire it on that. I don't think, with the thickness of the bottom, I don't think I have to worry about it warping. But a plate, you wouldn't want to really do that with a plate. And so there's that. Not real exciting on the outside, but look how pretty it is on the inside. So once this is fired, so when this is completely dry, so maybe tomorrow, I will paint, like I said, 2 coats of clear on it. I use Mako zinc-free clear, and then I also use Amico's HF9 zinc-free clear. I'll put 2 coats of that on, and then I'll fire it, like I said, to cone 5, and then I will update the video with the final picture. But I'll use this picture for the first probably week until I can get this fired, and then I'll update with the new photo. But thanks for watching. I sure appreciate it. I hope you guys are getting busy with your art fairs, and like I said, I do have my Etsy shop up and running, and it is under Lisa Kester Art Studio. Not the Wild Acorns Pottery, because I had some problems reusing my name, which, if you've been following, it's I'm not going to go into that whole story again, but yeah, so my Etsy shop is under Lisa Kester Art Studio, and there's not a whole lot of things on there yet, but I'm going to constantly keep adding things, and let me know what you think. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I will, I've got a lot more stuff here to glaze, so there'll be some videos. Have a good day.